Hello there, it is I, your favourite Bumpkin. We've had a little bit of a haircut. It's a bit wild today, but we're liking it. We're liking it. It's brought the silver out. It's brought the curls out a bit, or the wave, should I say? How are we all? This is going to be a bit chatty. There's quite a bit of purchasing to show. And also there may be some content that's not suitable for small, younger people. That some adult language, should we say. Not too bad, but you might not want small little people to hear. I'm off kilter already. My t-shirt's all wrinkled, but who cares? I'm here. If I had to iron a t-shirt to come, I would never come. I don't do ironing. Swear word. Welcome. This is episode 43 of the Country Bumpkin Creates podcast. My name is Lucy. You can find me on Instagram as country_bumps and on Ravelry as Country Bumps. It is Sunday, the 28th of September. It is my nephew Jacob's 28th birthday today. Happy birthday, Jakey Snake. 28. Oh, that makes me feel old. He was a cute baby. He still is cute. It's just a bit bigger now. Anyway. Where are we? Who are we? Like I said just now, I've been to 2 yarn events and a holiday to yarn capital of Europe, which is Copenhagen. So there were some purchases. So we'll go through that. I'm gonna probably intermingle some purchasing FOs, whips as I'm going through, because some of the stuff I've purchased I've already used and got an FO of. Something else I've already cast on with. Some of the items here are already in use. So welcome to any new viewers. Sorry, one of my nails has just come off. That's what I'm fiddling with. I use these gel strip nail things that you then put on and put under a UV lamp, but one of them I didn't put on properly and it's just come off, and that's what I'm fiddling with, so I do apologise. Put that in the bin before I fiddle with it even more. I've got spares. I'll put another one on later. Yes, anyway, welcome to any new viewers, and a big welcome back to any returning viewers. Thank you for taking the time to spend with me again. Brain. Words. Who needs words? Who needs words? Well, we'll just get in with it, shall we? The first event that I went to at the end of August with Rach, Soph and Jan, Rach's mother-in-law. Hi ladies. We went to the Southern Wool show. Oh my god, my brain. It's quite early in the, well, Sundays I don't generally put outdoor clothing on, and they're generally spent with pajamas on. So trying to get my brain to function on a Sunday. Although I didn't work yesterday, so that was a bit of a bonus. So yeah, we went to Southern Wool show at the end of August, which was lovely. It's always a really good show, that one. We went on the Sunday, so it was a tad quieter on the Sunday. So there was plenty of room to move around. Apparently on the Saturday it was rammed and you couldn't move around very well. But we did miss meeting up with Bex and Jess and Jack, who are from the Big Sis Little Bro making show, who are two of the best humans. I seem to have gathered around me the best humans on the planet, and I'm very grateful for that, and I love you all. I did put a post on my Instagram with a photo. Unfortunately, not everybody in my little tribe was in the photo. Some were missing. Oh, sorry, kicked the tripod. But I just have some of the best humans around me, and I'm very grateful for them. God. So yes, so we went to Southern Shore. We went on the Sunday, so it was a tad quieter. It was great to catch up with my birdies from Bird Street Yarn. Joe from Joe Knits Sew. They were next door to each other, so that was really nice. We could catch up with them. James and Matt from James Makes Yarn, who's James Makes Things on Instagram. And just generally, it's just always a really nice show. I did purchase a few things with purposes in mind. Well, most of it with purposes in mind. One of which I've already used. I've got stuff everywhere. I've got my little ironing board that I use for my quilting here, which is packed full of stuff, and I've got this basket which has got stuff in it. Right, I purchased that at Southern Wool Show, but that goes with an FO, which I cannot find, which I know I put in here. There it is. Nope. Oh, Balearics. There it is. There we go. So, just before we left, I think the same week, Stephen West came out with his small shawls, I think he called them. I'm just going to pull up. I brought the iPad in this time so we could, because I was going to do that last time and brain forgot. Let's turn that off. Let's go in there. I'm just going to pull up Ravelry so I can show you what I'm talking about. Oh, what are you doing? There we go, Ravelry. So he brought out, it was an ebook called, I'm sure it's called Small Shawls. Oh, no, it's asking me to log in. Yes. I'm sure it's called Small Shawls, and it's like one skein shawls or like DK. I'm not sure if they're all DK, but the one that I made was DK and fluff. So it's, the ebook is called Small Shawls 2. Oh, go away. Holy moly. What? Welcome to the shit show. I'm not used to using the iPad very much. It's more of a, Nigel's more of a iPad user than I am. So it's Small Shawls 2 on Ravelry. And it comes with 4 patterns. It's an ebook. And they've all got like different textured shawls. So there's the brioche chevron, dancing droplet, Pierre skinny scarf, which is the one that I made, and the smockle clock triangle. So I've made the Pierre shawl, which is 4 skeins of DK. And I really, really like the texture. So it's like different texture patterns. So this is the small shawls. This is the small Pierre shawl. And that's what I made. And here is mine. Make sure I've got the right side. This was mainly knit. I started it before I left. This is also known as the Willy Warmer shawl, because when I sent it on the group chat, I'd literally just started this bit, and it was quite a suspicious shape. So it was named the Willy Warmer Shawl. So you can see it's this beautiful texture pattern. So this was just some garter, then some garter ridges, some more, that's just straight garter. Then there was some ribbing, 1x1 twisted rib, some seed stitch, which Stephen West seems to love and I absolutely hate. Then these, let me see if I can see it on a bigger bit, these textured triangles. So it's bits and pieces from you know, quite a lot of Stephen West designs, and it's a long, skinny, very similar to like the Sophie scarf, but it's got all these different. So every 12 rows, basically, it was a different texture, and it's going to be really cute, like just under a coat or something, or if it's, you know, not too cold, but you just need something around your neck type thing. Or you can just tie it in a bow. And I used, so this was one of my purchases from Southern Wool Show. So it uses one skein of DK, and he uses mohair, but we don't do mohair. So I used Surrey alpaca. So it's got that like really soft squidginess to it. And I used, of course I used Bird Street yarn. And this was the cloud, so I used Tart, which is a in their alpaca silk. So it's 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26% mulberry silk. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. I think it's that 74-26. And then so that was in Tart, and this was in their DK, which has got my hair all over it. In the Cherie, my Cherie colourway. So those two, they're blowing out. I've got the curtains open because it is actually for once a sunny day, and I've got a daylight light on, because with the big light on it's too bright, and with just the daylight it's not enough. So I'm like, can never get my lighting right. So that's what it. So that the Tart sort of made it a tad brighter. So, but it's beautiful. So that was two of my purchases from Southern Wool Show. And from Bird Street, I also, when we did Big Flock in May, I got 2 skeins of alpaca silk cashmere, which is just so dreamy, from Bird Street in the piglet. So again, Bird Street, this is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, and it is just like, it's like butter. So it was in the piglet colourway, which is like this ballerina pink, or no, it's quite a bit, it's a ballerina pink, I would say is lighter, but well, it's like a pig, hence piglet, from Winnie the Pooh is who I'm thinking of. So I had 2 skeins of that, which would be enough for a t-shirt for me, but I fell in love with the Mango Tee by Beth McDonald Stone, and that has a stripe to it. Let me pull up the Mango Tee, because I printed out the pattern without the picture because I didn't need the picture, and it uses lots of ink. Pattern. There we go, Mango Tee. So this is the Mango Tea. It's like a boxy raglan drop shoulder. I don't know how you would describe it because it's all of those things. It is a bit of a weird construction, I must admit, and it's not something I've done before. So this, so this is a better picture. You can see how, like, the boxy shape of it, and then it's got these like tight sleeves. I started this t-shirt 3 times before I could get my head around the construction, and I did the world's. I knitted it. I started it once with the wrong colour because I didn't read the pattern. Thought you started with the collar. Nah, you didn't start with the. You start it flat, then you join it in the round, and then you go back to flat again, and then you go back to joining and knitting in the round. Yeah. So I started it on a 4mm needle with the wrong, because I do knit tights and normally I go up a needle size. But I wasn't keen on the fabric I was getting. So then, well, no, I started it with the wrong colour. Then I started it with the right colour, got a little way into it, and I was like, it was just too loose. And like the raglan increases weren't looking right for me. So I pulled it out again and then thought, I'm going to have to do a swatch. Which is like, that's a rude word in my brain. So I did the world's smallest swatch. I then washed it. So literally, and I knit it. I knit my swatch flat because the main start of the sweater is knit in on the flat. On the flat, in the flat, round, not in the round. It's knit flat. Hell, this is going to be fun today, isn't it? So, this was on a 3.5mm needle. I liked the fabric, but I was off gauge quite a bit. I can't remember what the gauge is. Rory will tell me. I've got a feeling it's 24 stitches, and I'm getting 26 and a half, I think, over 4 inches. So I'm getting quite I can never work it out. So I'm getting more stitches than I need. So I worked out like the circumference that I would want and picked a size, like once in the schematic, like the circumference that matched mine closely. I haven't got the exact circumference. It's going to be slightly bigger, but that's not a problem with me. I like, relaxed, and it's a boxy t-shirt. So I am doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th size. I think I'm doing the 5th size. Which will give me an approximate 52 inch. This is supposed to have like 6 to 10 inches of positive ease. So if I don't get that, that's quite a lot. So I'm not going to be too worried. But yeah, the pattern, I've never knit a Beth McDonald Stone pattern before, so I don't know if all of her patterns are written in this format, but it doesn't give you like, it's not split into, this is the back neck, this is the, front, it's all a bit jumbled. But I really want the finished. Normally after like 2 goes, I'd be like, this is going in the bin, but I've kept going with it. Anyway, so long story short, God, that was a long walk for a small drink of water, wasn't it? So, so I had these 2 skeins of Piglet. So, I wanted a contrast that would go with the Piglet. So, after several discussions with John and picking up different bits, luckily they had I didn't take any Piglet with me, but they had it there. So I was like holding up different bits. There was a grey that would have gone, but I wanted something other than grey. Grey would have looked great because I'm going to do the collar, the sleeves, and the probably either the bottom ribbing or at least like bind off in the contrast colour. So again, I went for Cherie. My Cherie. So when they're together, they're quite a nice contrast. And John knows that this is me, and you know, pink and purple. It's for you, Bex. Pinks and purples, and you know, that sort of is my wheelhouse. So we decided on Cherie in the end. And now I've done my swatch of it's on a 16-inch circular needle, so it's all going to be scrunched up. But I've done the bit that you do in the flat first. It's to build up the back neck, rather than having to do short rows. And then, so I've now joined it in the round. So this is, for one horrible moment there, I thought it was a Mobius, but it's not. So this is going to be the front now. So it is going to be built up more. And so this way up, oh my God, is the collar. So, or the collar will be attached to this bit here. So I'm just going around and around now, increasing at the shoulders for the raglan. So it's quite a increased, quite, because you're literally increasing on every round. And then to get the armholes, you're then, I'm not going to give it away, but that's when you're knitting flat and then you join back in the round again. So it's an interesting construction, put it that way. This project is being housed in my new redesigned bags, because you can't go to Denmark where redesigned is manufactured and not buy redesigned. This, I knew I wanted at least one redesigned bag, but we were very limited on luggage. So I couldn't get a big one because we didn't have a big suitcase to put it in. I really wanted a big one. Shh, don't tell Nigel. I've got my eye on one for Christmas. Or after Christmas, once I've done, because so in August, at the beginning of September, I did a lot of overtime at work because I knew we were going away. I got paid on the Friday. We had Wee Flock on the Saturday, and then we went to Copenhagen on the Sunday. So I knew I'd get paid before we went to Copenhagen. So I did lots of overtime because I knew I wanted to buy myself something special while we were away. And I'll get on to Copenhagen in a minute. But there are a lot of yarn shops in Copenhagen, and we just happened upon one, as you do, accidentally. Oh, Nigel, let's just walk down this street here. This looks interesting. Oh, look, there's a yarn shop. And they had redesigned bags with 25% off. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? It would have been rude not to. So I got myself, this is the Project 32 bag by Redesigned. And it's in the same leather colour from the one that I won from Botanical Yarn. So this is, like I say, Project 32. They're all called Project and a number. It's a zipper, like square or oblong, and it's got elastic here that you can put needles or pens or whatever. I've just dropped my yarn tags. Then it's got this pouch which is pop it in, so it's got like a built-in notions pouch, zipped pouch, which I've just got scissors, a row counter, and this little tin full of stitch markers. And it's also got these little elastic pockets here. There's a seam here, so they're 2 little pockets. And I've got 3 skeins of yarn balled up in here. I don't think my jumper's going to be able to live in here, or my t-shirt's going to be able to live in there forever. But once it gets bigger, I'll move it into the bigger project bag. But I just thought it was really cute. And like I say, 25% off. Can't go wrong, can you? It'd have been rude not to. So that was from Southern Wool Show as well. What else did I get from Southern Wool Show? This, we came across these. I've never seen this before. So this is Yarn Art Paillettes, and it's very similar to. Sorry, I was just grabbing some yarn. It's very similar. Like you could hold it with the cherie or possibly tart. It's like a burgundy, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a, so it's 75% metallic polyester and 25% with all these sequins on it. And this is 50 grams, but it's 800 meters. So easily make another Sparkle Sweater of Dreams with that. And it was just on a corner of a store. And I think it was like £7, which is a bargain. And they had 3 cones in 3 different colours. One was like Rachel's colours, one was Sophie's colours, and one was mine. And we were like, we'll have that, thank you. So we all got a skein of we all got a cone of this. And the lady, I couldn't even tell you what stall it was. And she said she'd bought like 20 of these with her, and they were all gone. Oh, she did. I'm sure Rach got the name of who it was. Or somebody did. Sophie might have got it. I can't remember. And then I got a Zauberball. Because all these patterns are coming out with spin cycle yarns and stuff. And ain't nobody got spin cycle money. This is a Zauberball Crazy. In the Mallowinkle colourway. I wonder what Mallowinkle means. It's a Bestel number. Bestel number? Do we think that means batch number? And then Farbe is colour, I think. And it's 2334. I'm going to Google what Mallowinkle means. All you German-speaking people. I did German at school, but it was a very long time ago. Mallowinkle? Meaning. A woman painter. I think. I think it means woman painter. All of you German people are going to be like, no, it's not. Mallowinkle. painters. No, there's an area. Sorry, there's an area in the Rhine region to visit called Marlewinkel, which is Painter's Corner. So there we go. So, but it's all these like really beautiful, and it shows you on the label the color changing sequence. So I thought that was really cute. And then the lovely Crafty Bird had done a Fourth Wing collection, and I read all the fourth, or listen, I actually listened to them all, which counts as reading in my book. Not my normal books, but absolutely loved them. My manager and work got me into them, and I love them. And she had brought out the Fourth Wing collection, so it's a beautiful, like very muted colours. And this is Violet Sorengale, who is the main character in the books. It's really lush. So I think that is all I bought at the Southern Wool Show. Very restrained for me. Then the following weekend, no, 2 weekends after that, we had a wee flock. It was so much fun. So much fun. So wee flock is little flock, but Ruth Loves to Knit's podcast called it wee flock because she's Irish, and that's what they do. That's what they say. Or Northern Ireland, Northern Irish. And so it's now known as wee flock. It's run by Claire and John of Bird Street Yarn, and it's just like a big knit and natter afternoon. And John and Claire bring their yarn for sale, and this time the featured dyer was Otter and Papoose. And we just sit, we knit, we have cake, we have tea, we chat, we laugh, we play a few games, we buy yarn. And before we went, I had finished my gnome of the month. This is where, you don't want little people listening. I probably didn't choose very appropriate colours. And Mr. Frederick Fungi is now affectionately known as Gnobhead because he looks a bit like a butt plug. But he is very cute. But I think this pink probably wasn't the best choice for his. So he does look a bit. Before he had it, like before he had his beard and his arms added, you can see. So before I added all the bits, I sent it to our group chat, and I was like, I'm not quite sure what I've knit here. So his birth name is Frederick Fungi, known to his friends as Gnobhead. So he came to Wee Flock with me, and we had a group photo done. We were Gnobhead's crew, and he got up to all sorts of shenanigans. But I think he's very cute. He goes with another FO. Where did I put him? So when I'm just gonna pause here because we've been nearly 40 minutes and my phone cuts me off after 40 minutes. I'm back. Oh god, now I've get the camera. There we go. So yeah, we're on the subject of gnomes. So this was my September gnome, and this is Frederick Fungi. So he got up to all sorts of shenanigans at Wee Flock. I sat next to Jack, and he's a bad influence, but he's very cute. And this was my August gnome. So when Sarah of these are both by Imagine Landscapes. This is Dr. M. Morel, and this is, like I say, Frederick Fungi, aka Knobhead. I won't call him that anymore, so little people can come back now. So when Sarah of Imagine Landscapes did the MCAL in April, we made what was he called? Welcome to the Menopause, because I cannot remember what he was called. He was some sort of mushroom guy. Let me look back over my show notes. Professor Fungi. There we go. So I made Professor Fungi. He was a mystery gnome. And then she also released these other two mushroom themed guys. So like I say, this is Dr. M. Morel. And this colour of his hat is a Malabrigo. Don't ask me what. This is just some random... I normally just pull from my random mini skein box for these. But I thought he looked very sort of mushroomy colour. And then Fred is... his hat is Mummy Kissing Santa by Bird Street Yarn, and then the brownie grey, again, I don't know, and his beard and all that is just an undyed mini. The brown was, looks like a brownie grey, was just in my random mini skeins or a leftover or something. That's generally what I use for my gnomes. So they were FOs. Let's put them fellas up there. So yeah, so WeFlock. What did we buy at WeFlock? Just before I went, John and Claire released some new colourways on their net base, and they were just amazeballs. And I knew I wanted a sweater in them. I'm going to do a striped sweater. I don't know. I'm probably not going to use... I just want a basic like raglan. It'll probably be a t-shirt. It won't be a sweat full length, full sleeved sweater. I doubt. I don't know yet. We'll see how we go. The t-shirts tend to be my choice because I do run hot, and I can always wear a long sleeve t-shirt underneath it. So we digress yet again. So they brought out yarn on their net base, and it is 85 superwash merino, 15% Donegal net 4-ply. And John, I think John had done it on 5 or 6 colours, and there were 4 in the like pinky purple family, and a grey, and I think like a beige. So these are the 4 that I got. So I am going to do probably the bright side, which is the pattern that I made my sparkle sweater of dreams out of. And I will use these 3 as thick stripes. So like probably 6 or 8 rows, probably 8 rows. And then this grey, I will do a thin stripe in between. I knit Hohi pattern a long time ago. How do I close that? Let's go back to Ravelry. It probably in my project page. And it was like thick stripes with a thinner stripe in between. Oh, I don't know what I've done. I've done something to the iPad and now I can't work out what I've done. Here we go. Here we go. We're back in the room. Sorry. I know this is like really enthralling for you while I'm looking at an iPad. Ravelry search. Oh, it'll be in my projects probably. Go away. My notebook. This is when the days I used to put stuff on my Ravelry projects. I don't anymore. It all goes in my notebook. Here it is. It's called it was called The Separate Ways. So you can sort of get the idea of what I mean by the thicker stripes and then like a thin stripe. You can see on the arms here. This was another cool construction because you like knit. It was a lot of purling because you knit back and forth, and then you went up and around to join it. Let me find. There's the. So you can see what I mean. So you knit the body and then you pick up stitches there, and that's what joins it all together. It's a very clever construction. So that's the idea I'm taking from it. So you can see on this version's a bit better. You can see like the thick stripes and then there's a thinner stripe in between separating the colours. So that's what I'm going to do. So my 3 colours are, which isn't going to show. Oh, let me turn this. Maybe turn that down a bit. Oh, that's better. So this is Figgy. And then I got this like plummy browny gorgeousness called Decadent. And then this one is like a very, it's like a taupey pink grey gorgeousness called Vintage. So they're going to be my 3 main like thick stripes. And then I got Stonewash, which is a grey. Apologies, that's Nigel coming home on his very noisy motorbike. So there, yeah, so that's going to be a future jumper. Once I finish the mango tea, I think I'm gonna crack on and get that done because I want that for the winter. So I think it's going to be beautiful for the winter. That was all I bought. Oh no, it wasn't. And I got this baby little mini skein of fluff, which is again on the cloud base 7426 Surrey alpaca and mulberry silk in the Miami colorway, which is one of my favorite colors from Bird Street. It's like a minty bluey gorgeousness. So that was what I got from WeFlock. It was a fabulous day. We had lots of fun. Right. Shall I show you something else I finished? Let's intertwine FOs. My other major FO that I finished just in time to go to Copenhagen with was my Jethro. In this part of the world that I do lives in, I've put it on inside out, which I am based in Devon. There was a comedian called Jethro. I'm sure if you're from the UK, you'll have heard of Jethro. And he lived his club and his house was not far from where I live. It's actually where Ruth. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It's very very close to here. I don't want to give away information. Yeah, so it's not far from here. And he was called Jethro because he's from like the like deepest, darkest Cornwall. And his name was Geoffrey Rowe, but in our accent, you call him Jeffro, becomes Jethro. So that's what this cardigan. That's when you say Jethro. There's also Leroy Jethro Gibbs from NCIS, who is a silver fox, but we won't go into that. So this is my Jethro cardigan by Tanis Lavelli, who is Tanis Fibre Arts, and I made it. Most of it is from my Bird Street Advent Calendar from 2023. I got the DK version. The only yarns that aren't are the green, which was from another mini skein set from John and Claire, which were finger and weight that I held double to make. So, but all the other colours came with, so these like oranges and browns and purple and blue were all in the and when I was making the squares I was like, not sure these, am I doing it right? Should I have mixed them? So I kept like all the colour families together, and then just put like greys in between or whatever. I was like, should I have done like, put in a yellow with a blue and all that sort of stuff. And then it wasn't until the cardigan was put together I was like, no, I made the right choice. And the grey that I used for the joining, so the final round of the granny squares, and like I did the continuous join and the ribbing, is a Drops Merino in the light grey colourway. And I didn't do it's so you crochet all the squares, crochet them together, and then you pick up and knit the ribbing and the button band, and you're supposed to do like full sleeves on it, but I just knew I'd be too hot with full sleeves. So I finished it literally, it was blocking the day before we went to WeFlock. Let me stand up. So I've done mine quite cropped, so it comes to, because I am only a short person. The only thing that annoys me is, and I don't know whether it's my bind off or what, or whether it's just the way the neck is done, because when this is flat, these lay with the ribbing. The bottom band lays with the ribbing. When I put it on, the bottoms of the button band like go up, and I don't know whether it's my bind off's not stretchy enough. I did do a stretchy bind off. It is quite, but maybe I need to take the bind off out, but then it doesn't really bother me that much, but it does, if you know what I mean. I still wear it. I wore it. I took it to Copenhagen. I wore it, and I also don't have buttons on it yet. Whether that'll make a difference, I don't think so. But so any suggestions? Please leave a comment down below if you think a better bind off. I did the knit one, then knit another one, and then slip them back. So knit two, slip them back, and then knit those two together through the back loop, which is like my usual stretchy bind off, but maybe I need to do like the yarn one with the yarn overs in it, because I think Claire did that and hers lays better than mine. But overall I am chuffed to bits with it and I love it, and I've got so many, I've like worn it a few times, I've got lots of compliments on it. I was sat in work one day. I had like an hour and I think I had like an hour and a quarter's break between shifts or something. And so I had my lunch and I was just sat there crochet. I was doing the joining, and one of my managers came in and he was absolutely fascinated. He was just kept firing. What are you doing there? Why are you doing that? Why? How come you're doing it so fast? He was just absolutely enthralled with it, which it was totally unexpected from him, because he can be quite nonchalant, but and then when I'd finished it, I had to take it in and show him, and yeah. So I've had lots of compliments on it, and it is. See, when it's like that, it does line up with the ribbing. So it's a bit random, a bit bizarre, but I think because there's no neck shaping as such, so that's like all the neck there is. Perhaps when it's on, because I've got a chunky old neck, perhaps it just pulls up more. So maybe it's just something I've got to live with. Right. Pure skin. I'm just looking at my FOs. Pure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then on the Sunday we went to a wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen. I'm just going to wet my whistle a minute. We arrived quite very late on the Sunday. We didn't leave the UK till our flight didn't take off till 10 to 7, and it's about 2-hour flight from Bristol. They're an hour ahead of us, so by the time we landed it was 10 to 7, 10 to 8, 10 to 9, like 10 to 10 their time. By the time you get off and all that jazz, it was like 11 o'clock before we hit their time. Gone 11 o'clock their time before we hit our hotel. We stayed at the Square, which was at a Red House Plaza, which was like bang centre of Copenhagen. We couldn't have asked for a better location. It was 15 minutes on the metro from the airport, so really easy. The public transport links are top notch in Copenhagen. So that was late Sunday night. So Monday morning, got up, we had our breakfast. We paid for breakfast on the Monday morning in the hotel because we didn't know sort of lay of the land as to where we'd be able to get breakfast or anything like that. And then we just decided we'd just go out and walk, basically. So we just wandered around. We went to the Royal Palace and had a look around. You can walk around the grounds for like free. It's only if you want to go in and see like the crown jewels or whatever. So we had a wander around there. Then we walked down to you look on the map and you think it's going to take forever to walk there, and then literally everything's within like 10 minutes of each other. We walked up like the main like posh shopping street where all like the Pradas and the all that sort of stuff was not of interest to me at all. And we went to, it's called the Round Tower, and it's like a spiral, it's like a tower on the end of a church, and there's no steps inside. It's like literally like a spiral walkway. It was built so one of the kings could ride his horse up to the top. It was an observatory, so it used to have a big like telescope and stuff at the top. And I was very brave. I went right to the very top, and I don't do heights very well, but it was all like caged in. There was no way. It's not so much the height I'm scared of, it's the falling off and dying that I'm scared of. But the views were spectacular. We could see the bridge that goes across to Sweden, which was in the bridge program, the murder mystery, Scandi Noir bridge. So we could see that. We could see right across to Sweden. You could see all the way around. We just had a little potter around that area. Went into the church that the Round Tower was attached to. Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. We had a little wander around those sort of areas. The architecture and stuff is just out of this world. It's absolutely spectacular. We will definitely go back to Copenhagen. So we then wandered down to Nyhavn. We took a boat trip, like an hour's boat trip around like the canals. Went out and saw the Little Mermaid, which was very underwhelming. And we'd watched a few videos before we left, about like places to visit. Like there's I can't remember what he was called, Christian, I think he was called, who actually lives in Copenhagen, had done like a, go here, go there, have a look at this, So we did that. We did the boat trip, and then he'd said, don't, in the Nyhavn area, it's like they really jack up the prices because it's where all the tourists go. It's where all the pretty coloured buildings are. If you've seen photos of Copenhagen, you'll know where I'm talking about. But if you walked across a bridge, there's like a street food place. We had the best cheeseburger I've ever had on this planet, and I've eaten a lot of burgers, hence, this body is a cheeseburger body, not a salad body. It was just, it was just amazing. The seasoning was perfect. It was made with organic beef. The sauce was great. There was, it was just, it was to die for. So we had our lunch and then wandered around a bit more. On our way back, came across the shop where I bought this, which was called Sommerflugen. Not a lot of them are open on a Monday, but we just, Sommerflugen was open, and like I say, they had the 25% off these, so we did that on the Monday, and where we just wandered around, went back to a hotel and chilled a bit, because we had what they call an executive room. So after breakfast, they clear away all the breakfast stuff, and then from 2:00 onwards, they make it into what they call the executive lounge. And you go up there, you can have free beer, wine, soft drinks, coffee, hot chocolate, all that sort of stuff. There was snacks there. There was fruit, cakes, cheese and biscuits, nuts and crisps and all that sort of stuff. So because we'd eaten sort of mid-afternoon, we didn't really want to go out for dinner, and because we'd walked like 18,000 steps by this point as well. So we decided, it was like 6:30 by the time we got back, so we went up to the lounge and just chilled up there for the evening. Ate a few snacks. I did some knitting. Nigel read his book. Chatted to a few other guests that were up there and stuff. So that was really cool. And then the Tuesday, Claire put me onto a lady who knits from Lincolnshire. I do apologise because I can't remember her name, but her YouTube channel was Knits from Lincolnshire, and she'd been to Copenhagen and did the Copenhagen yarn crawl, which is done by one of the yarn shops called Woolstock. So you can, on their website, you can purchase this Copenhagen yarn crawl information, which is 10 or 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 yarn shops that are all on the, it would be like the Circle Line on our tube in London, but they're all on like this main, it was the Red Line. I don't know what line it was, but it was the M3 Metro. So they were all on the M3 Metro. So we bought a day's Metro ticket, Nigel is the most patient man on the planet, because he was like, yeah, we'll do your yarn crawl. I was like, okay, cool. So we went to, the first one we went to, Soreness Garn, was closed because they were on holiday. So we didn't. So we then headed to Woolstock. And when you go into Woolstock, you show them your order number for the yarn crawl. You get a, was it Soreness Garn? That was closed. Low. Sorry, Old Sadat was closed. I'm really butchering these names. I do apologise if any of you are Scandinavian. Soreness Garn was open, but it was a lot of drops and a lot of, who are the people who make Peer Gynt? Sadness Garn. And I thought I can get those in this country, so I didn't purchase anything. So when we got to Woolstock, you give them your order number for the yarn crawl, and you get this tote bag. You get a little yarn crawl badge, which I don't know where mine's gone. I've kept it safe somewhere. So people, when you go into other shops, people know that you're on the yarn crawl. We then, and you got a printed map of the yarn crawl and a little box of stitch markers, and you also got 10% off in the shop. So, being, again, it'd be rude not to. What have I done with that now? I treated myself to another redesigned pouch. This is a pouch rather than a, but it's quite roomy once you open it up. So I'm using this as for notions now. This is Project 36, again in the same tan colourway. So it's just a little like box pouch that opens out. So I've got all sorts of bits and pieces, and then it's got a zip pouch in the middle that I've got. I'm trying to show it without it all falling out. Stitch markers. This is made by Rachel, who may be coming to an Etsy shop near you soon. More on that at another date. So yeah, so I purchased that in there, and again they did a lot of drops, a lot of Sadness Garn, a lot of knitting for Olive. But I did get these. This is an Italian yarn called Super Otto by Mondial, and it's 100% merino extra fine, 50 grams, 90 meters, so approximately a DK-ish. So I got 2 balls of that in like this minty green colour, and I'll probably make a Sophie scarf out of it, or a hat, I don't know yet. But it's like really like round, gorgeous yarn. So that's what I got at Woolstock. We sat, they're like a cafe as well. It's the people there was a lady who, she's obviously a regular in there because she sort of knew everyone, and they all speak English. Yeah, just fabulous. I really said to Nigel, we need to win the lottery and move there. I would live there in a heartbeat. Absolute heartbeat. I never felt unsafe anywhere. We just wandered around. Everybody was friendly. No matter where you went, people, they were just smiley and happy. I imagine it's, like everywhere. It's got its issues, but we never came across any. So we had a drink there. We then got back on the tube and went to Nicoline Garn. Or did we go? Yes, we did go to Nicoline Garn. Again, really nice shop, but predominantly drops. And we don't, the Danish krone is not good against the pound, so it's quite expensive to buy stuff that I can get in the UK. So yeah, we didn't. I didn't buy anything in there, but it was nice to just go and have a look. We didn't go to Knitting for Olive because, again, I can get Knitting for Olive in this country. I'd had a feel of some of the stuff, so I know what I'm looking for. Again, with the Sadness Garn, I'd never touched it, so didn't know what it felt like. And I'm glad I did, because some of it I wasn't overly keen on, some of the bases. But their double Sunday is delightful, so I think in future there's a sweaters quantity in future of that in my offing, I think. We then got back on the tube and went to Tantegron. What a beautiful little shop. Not a massive shop, it was only little. And as part of the yarn crawl, she gave you like a goodie bag. So I got this beautiful tote bag. Look at the illustration on it. Isn't that beautiful? This has got stash from yesterday in it. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah. By this point, it was lunchtime. So there's like a shopping centre there. So we just ducked into a cafe that was there. Had a sandwich and a drink and a wee. I had a wander around. There was a soster and a grena in there. So we just had that. And then we went to Tantegron, which was just across the road. It wasn't very far. Like I say, she gave you the tote bag and this beautiful needle gauge and gauge ruler, again with that beautiful design on it. Isn't that really sweet? Oh, so cute. And you also got 10% discount there. So this I picked up for Sophie, because when Soph went at the beginning of the summer, there's one of their own patterns. It's a shawl, and when you get to this part of the yarn, you do like a certain stitch pattern, and it's based on Van Gogh, Watery Water Lilies is the yarn name, and it's by Hesselstrick Song. So Soph said, if they've got a skein of that, would you be able to pick me up one? So I got that for Sophie, and I got 2 skeins of this, which is Zwarte Farret Tencel Blow. So it's tencel and alpaca, and it's like that blown in. So I assume the tensel's like the chainette, and then they blow in the alpaca, like drops air and things like that. So again, I got 2 skeins of that, and I don't know whether to do another like skinny scarf with it or a hat or something. But again, it's yarns that I've never come across, and this was Swedish yarn, so it's not something that's easily available in this country. Oh, there's inspiration and patterns on their website, so I might have a look at that in a bit. So I got 2 balls of that, because again, it's like a DK-ish weight, I think. Yeah, 50 grams for 100 meters. So 100 meters, 100 grams, 200 meters. So TK worsted in like this really cool purple is what I meant to say, purple colourway. We then, and Tante Garonne is in the area called Fredericksburg, and there's a real beautiful park near there. So we walked up to the park. It's a bit of a trek. And in part of the park, the zoo is in the park, but you can go to this one spot and you can see the elephant enclosure without having to go into the zoo. So we went there, and there were 2 big elephants and 1 little baby elephant. So it was so cute. They're just, I love elephants. So we stood there and watched them for a little while. It was really showery that afternoon as well. We had beautiful weather while we were there. Literally walked around in a t-shirt. It's like, mad. I took knitwear with me that I didn't even wear because it was too warm. So raincoat was on and then off and then on and then off. So it was a bit showery. So then we walked back to the metro. By this point, it was like 4:30 because it was quite a trek back to the metro. We didn't realise how far we'd walked, like through the park. So we called it quits on the actual yarn crawl that day. And then in the evening we went back to eat at the street food place. Because we had a 24-hour metro ticket, and the metro wasn't far from where the street food place was, so we got the metro over there because we'd done a lot of walking. Again, I think we hit like 18,000 steps that day. So we went out and had some food. What do we have that night? We had Greek gyros that night. We then went back and chilled. Went to the 7-Eleven and Nigel got a couple of cans of beer, and we got a couple of snacks and sat and watched something on Netflix, I think. And then on the Wednesday, I'm going to get cut off again, isn't it? We got the train to Sweden. Malmo is a 40-minute train ride from Copenhagen Central Station, which was a 10-minute walk from our hotel. So that was pretty cool. We went across the bridge on the train. I'm just going to stop. So we went across on the train. Had a wander around there. It was pretty rainy and pretty chilly that morning. It was mid-morning before we left, and then because we went out and had breakfast and stuff, got the train over there. Had a wander around. Again, a very pretty place. Felt a little bit more run down. Yeah. And wasn't... I didn't love it as much as I loved Copenhagen. So we had a wander around there. I, funnily enough, found a yarn shop where I got the lady in there. I can't remember what the yarn shop was called. Let me see if I can Google what it was called. It was like right opposite. It wasn't far from the train station, like opposite the train station. Yarn shop in Malmo. It was well worth a visit. Really, the architecture and the history and Planet Wool, it was called. And the lady in there again was lovely. Again, it was like a little cafe type place as well. But by like Wednesday afternoon, we were pretty tired. So we found somewhere nice to have something to eat. Oh, I was going to show you the yarn, wasn't I? Yeah, so in Planet Wool, I got, this is Nordic Yarn Lab Vimmer Bee. This is a Bio Merino Superfine Alpaca. So 70% Bio Merino, 30% alpaca. So it's 50 grams, 110 meters. I'm assuming it's Swedish yarn, and it's just like a light pink colorway, so that'll be, and it's 50 grams for 110 meters, so DK. So that'll be in something eventually. And this is from Chaos Yarn. I just love this color, and it is an organic brushed alpaca. It's 100% organic alpaca, like a cloud. So it's certified organic yarn, untreated fibers at a fair trade certified family owned manufacturer in Peru, and then it's dyed in compliance with European standards. And this is colour 2049 Charismatic. So it's like a lace weight alpaca. And that, so then we went and found somewhere to eat, and we got the train back like mid-afternoon. And then went back and chilled in the lounge at the hotel before going out to get something to eat in the evening. And then Thursday we went to Tivoli Gardens, which was like 200 yards from our hotel, because we had to be out of our room by 11, and we had to leave to get to the airport like 5:30ish, so we didn't want to go too far, and we wanted to do Tivoli. It's like it's a theme park like / botanical garden, and it's what Walt Disney based Disney World on. It's got like it's got like Europe's oldest roller coaster that's got a brake man on it, and stuff. I went on that, scared the bejesus out of myself, even though it was like a little, there's a rather funny photograph of that on my Instagram if you go and have a look. And the gardens were beautiful, lots of beautiful dahlias out, quite a few rides. Nigel went on quite a few on his own because I don't do big roller coasters. We went on the bumper cars and just like the little like silly rides. This like spaceship thing that was like made for kids, really, but just went up in the air and back down again and stuff. Yeah, it was like really random stuff. Oh, we went on the merry-go-round, and yeah, it was a really, really fun day out, actually. Yeah, we had some lunch there, and then I had this most amazing ice cream, like it was a unicorn ice cream, and it had like this, it was like a Mr. Whippy like soft serve ice cream that they then dipped in like this raspberry flavoured like glazy stuff that went hard, and then these little meringue like ears and eyes and mouth. It was so cute. Oh, and a little unicorn horn. Oh my god, it was just the cutest little thing. It wasn't that little, actually. It was nice. And then Nigel just had a boring one with sprinkles on it, because he's Mr. Boring. So that was our trip to Copenhagen. We will definitely go back because there was quite a bit of stuff that we missed. So yeah, we'd definitely like to go back. What else have I got to show you or talk about? Yesterday Rachel and I went to West Point, which is like a big it's like where like our county show happens and all that sort of stuff, and they had the creative craft show. We weren't there very long, and it's only like 40 minutes up the road, but Brian's Best of Walls was there, and I got this pack of Debbie Bliss Delphi, which is 100% cotton, but it's like that like cotton tape type yarn in like this peachy orangey coral variegated. So I've got 10 balls of that for 10 quid. So that'll be made into a t-shirt for next summer. Might even get 2 out of it, I don't know. And the Indian Block Company were there. So I've got some paints. So I'm trying to get like most of the colours of paints. And I got some blocks as well. I got this lovely feather. I had to get a gnome, didn't I? I got a little heart with circles around it, and then I got like this autumn leaf, which now looks like a marijuana leaf, but I don't think it is. So like an autumny leaf. So that's why I got these colours of paint, like an olivey green, an Indian yellow, and the middle one is tulip. To do some like autumny type colours. That was all I got. Went there very long. It was nice. Rach had to bring Seth, so it was nice to catch up with Seth. Where are my show notes? Because I need to make sure that I've talked about everything I want to talk about. Probably not. Probably not. Right, what else have we been knitting? I finished, I don't know where I was on this Mold Magic blanket last time we recorded, but I finished another section. So this is the Mold Magic blanket by Stephen West, which is going to be ginormous by the time it's finished. This is the section I've just finished, which was knit and purl ridges. I haven't got a picture of the like whole finished blanket, I don't think. No. But so I've done 5 sections, which is just this corner down here. So I'm now, this is section 6 here, which I then have to pick up. So I've literally done one part of one corner. But the next section's seed stitch. And it's a big section. It's going to take forever. It's going to take forever. Seed stitch is not my favourite. So we now start, I think we come up this way. So we pick up the stitches along the edge of here and start going up that way. This is just a project that sits to one side, and when I need some like mindless knitting, or I'm in between projects or stuff like that, it gets picked up then. So the knitting I took to Copenhagen, I took the Pierre small scarf with me, which I did on the plane, and when we were up in the lounge and stuff like that, and then travelling, like when we went over to Sweden, and if I was on the metro or whatever and we were going to be a little while, I started my socks, I took them in this little cute little hide and hammer bag. It's just like that was my stomach rumbling. It's lunchtime. And this is the Odd Sock Circus from Fab Funky Fibres. So it comes as I got the 50-gram main colour, and then it came with 6 different 10-gram minis. I think they were 10 grams. No, it came with 30 grams altogether. So they are about 6 or 7 grams. So I've done a cuff. So I did the cuff in the blue, and then I'll knit the whole 50 grams and then split the tube up. Chucking stuff all over the floor. Yeah, so that was like Copenhagen knitting. And again, these will just be if we're going out somewhere and I need, or I've got an appointment or whatever, and I need some like waiting room knitting or something like that. They can wait project. They're not a desperate, I need to finish them now project. I've put a bloody show notes down somewhere. Holy moly. Oh, my belly is rumbling. Don't even know what time it is. Talked about all of that. Right. When I don't know if you watch Franny Do Makes, but she had made this really cool necklace. And then it was from Inside Crochet magazine. And then when we went to Southern Wool Show, I met Rachel and Sophie, where I was leaving my car, because they come from one side of the moor, I come from the other, so we meet sort of Exeter way. And Rach had this necklace on, and I was like, "Did you watch Franny?" She said, "Yeah." And then she'd literally just made up. So I then was like, "Oh, I need to make one now." So I made this little necklace, and it is just crocheted circles. I use a 3.5mm hook, crochet these little circles, and then feed them onto here, onto the necklace, and then put just a silicone bead. I just got these on the Amazon. Don't shout at me for using Amazon, but I live in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing else around that I can buy these things. Yeah. So it's really cool. So I wore mine. We did. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Organised a 10th birthday party for the Tesco store that I work in with alongside my colleague Laura. So I wore it then, and then I wore mine to WeFlop. So I am just, when I finish a project or I'm just using up little bits of scraps, these take like literally like 2 grams of yarn. So I'm just using up, I'm just making the circles and popping them in this lovely little bag that Claire gifted me from Bird Street Yarn. Claire calls them a yarn bucket. I call it a ball sack. Sorry, Claire. Love you. Yeah, so from Bird Street Yarn. I think there are probably some on their website if Claire's got any left. I know they were popular at WeFlock, so there may not be any available at the moment. It's covered in my hair, cat hair. I'd never be able to kill anyone because I'd leave too much detritus around. My DNA would be everywhere. So yeah, so I'm going to make some more of those for gifts. The other thing I want to show is this t-shirt that I'm wearing. That's very creased. It's because Yarn Club meet at the local yarn shop, or meet me at the local yarn shop. And it's got this little yarny dude knitting a sock with his yarn. And these are from the Crayabea website. So, and the other one I got from her, this is on the back of this t-shirt, which is why I didn't wear this one. It's the Yarn Appreciation Society. Can you see it? I can't see. With this beautiful skein of yarn and the flowers around it. Yeah. So they're really cool. That, my darlings. Oh, future knitting. In October, there is another mystery gnome knit along. Search. Imagine, and it's a choice of 2. So it's autumn Halloween themed. So they are called Nettle and Gumpkin. There we go. Or Gumpkin and Nettle. And one is witch themed. So I assume, I don't know if this is what they're going to look like or not. I doubt it very much. But one is pumpkin themed and one is witch themed. So I'm going to do both because you get the patterns for both. It starts on the 3rd of October, and by the end of October you'll have all the clues. So yeah, this is an example of the yarns that are available from some of the featured dyers. So I'm going to go through my, I think you just like mini skeins. Oh, they're cute. This is on somebody's project page. They've chosen their yarn already. I've got some neon mini skeins and stuff. Oh, yeah. See, they're lovely colours, aren't they? So I'm going to go through and choose my yarns in the next few days. So that's going to be, because I'm doing 2, it may take a little while. So I'm going to do, that's my October knitting plans, and I want to get the mango tea. So they're going to be the 2 things that I concentrate on really, is the gnomes and the mango tea. So yeah, my shifts are changing in mid-October. I'm going down to, still doing the same amount of hours, but they will be done over 3 days instead of 4. So that's going to give me more time. No longer going to be working a weekends. Yes, unless I choose to pick up overtime. So that's quite nice. So hopefully I can get on a better recording schedule. This has been a long one, guys. This is like an hour and 40 minutes so far. We're going to be an hour and a half, hour and nearly 2 hours. So yeah, hopefully I can get onto a bit of a better recording schedule. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm not making any promises because, you know, it's all dependent on how I feel and if I've got the time and whether those 2 things join together. Yeah, that's it. I hope you're all well, taking care of yourselves, enjoying your crafting time. And I will catch up with you soon. Love you. Bye.